from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
A pleasant evening and a very warm welcome to the national news on Rupavahini ChannelEye. I'm Delanjali and joining me is Charita Minipurarachi, and these are the top stories which have made headlines for tonight. Intellectuals and experts are invited to present proposals for the upcoming budget to overcome the present crises faced by the country. Cabinet approval to present the 2023 appropriation draft bill to the Parliament after publishing on the Government Gazette. Another 1 million students for the school lunch program. Charita nominated instead of Harsha for COPE chairmanship. Sajid proposed. MILCO milk powder prices to increase from midnight today. The world's oldest gold-plated Buddha statue discovered from Sri Lanka. Somalia government kills a leader of Al-Shabaab terrorist organization. Now for those and other stories in detail. Cabinet spokesman Minister Bandula Gunawardena requested intellectuals and experts to submit proposals for the upcoming budget to overcome the prevailing crises faced by the country.
He pointed out that the country requires economic-based proposals instead of politically motivated. The minister made these remarks while addressing a media briefing held at the Government Information Department today to announce the cabinet decisions. Cabinet spokesman Minister Bandula Gunawardena said that any government, despite the political party, has to find provisions for the payment of public sector salaries and pensions. He added that the interest payments for the loans should be also fulfilled. He said that there are certain expenditures which cannot be cut off. Accordingly, he said that the capital expenditure can be suspended, but such suspensions would reflect on the essential services, including electricity and water supply, and affect the public in general. He said that if investments are not being made on power generation projects, then the repercussions will be faced by the public. He also said that the necessary road system should be established even though such projects are currently being suspended. He added that necessary maintenance work related to infrastructure facilities should also be carried out. Therefore, the minister said that the relevant budget has been prepared by limiting certain capital expenditures. The minister said that the government bears 3,248 billion rupees for the infrastructure facilities, even though the overall revenue earned through taxes are at 1,268 billion rupees. He also said that 86% of the government's tax revenue has been allocated for the payment of public sector salaries and pensions. Therefore, the minister emphasized the need for an economic solution for the prevailing issue and not a politically motivated solution. He said that to overcome this issue, the government should increase their revenue, reduce the government expenditure, increase the inflow of foreign exchange and reduce the outflow of foreign exchange. Responding to a query raised by a journalist over the government's attempts to revoke the license of media institutions, the minister said that he will not intervene any measures taken to formulate regulations required to revoke such license. He pointed out that the need to create and improve media culture. He also emphasized the need for a value-added system for media which would enhance all aspects of society inspired from foreign media agency cultures. He said that the measures are required to create an environment to improve the media culture and not to bring in regulations to repress the media and its growth.
Now, Cabinet of Ministers granted approval to submit the draft appropriation bill for the year 2023 to Parliament after publishing it in the Government Gazette. The total recurrent expenditure for the year 2023 has been estimated as 4,634 billion rupees, while total capital expenditure has been estimated at 3,245 billion rupees. The total debt amount to be acquired from local and foreign sources is at 4,429 billion rupees, since the overall government expenditure is higher than the estimated revenue. Accordingly, the Cabinet of Ministers granted approval to the relevant proposal submitted by President Ranil Wickremesinghe as the Minister of Finance, Economic Stabilisation and National Policies. As proposed in the Supplementary Budget 2022 passed in the Parliament, the compulsory retirement age of employees serving in state-owned enterprises is to be revised as 60 years. Accordingly, the Cabinet of Ministers granted approval to the proposal submitted by President Ranil Wickremesinghe to issue a circular in this regard with effect from January 1st next year. The Cabinet of Ministers approved the memorandum submitted by President Ranil Wickremesinghe for the establishment of the Food Policy Committee with the participation of heads of the relevant institutions and chaired by the Secretary to the President. The program is expected to build trust among producers, traders and customers through the monitoring of supply chains within the country as well as the short-term issues prevailing with regard to supply, prices and marketing, and implement a mechanism formally and efficiently along with other long-term programs. The Cabinet of Ministers granted approval to the proposal submitted by President Ranil Wickremesinghe for taking appropriate steps to provide a wholesome lunch to another 1 million school students, further extending the school lunch program which is already being implemented based on district-level data on poverty and nutrition. Under the policy of eradicating poverty, the government expects to immediately implement programs aimed at addressing concerns raised over nutrition. Now, President of Iceland, Gunni Johannesson, assures to further strengthen the bond of friendship between Sri Lanka and Iceland.
He made these remarks while congratulating President Ranil Wickremesinghe for being elected as the president of the country. He also expressed confidence that the people of Sri Lanka will successfully deal with economic challenges while preserving the social harmony which must be quintessential to maintain Sri Lanka. President Johansson expressed these people enjoy good relations and there is no doubt that increasing the exchange could be of considerable benefit to both Sri Lanka and Iceland. Expressing these views on the high inflation Sri Lanka has suffered, he said that the inflation is a common problem that Iceland has recognized very well. Furthermore, he has invited everyone to do their best to stand together while wrestling with issues like the recent pandemic and environmental threats. He assured his support to strengthen further the bond of friendship between the two countries and wished the government and the people of Sri Lanka good fortune in the future.
The distribution of aid to the Pirivan in the remote areas of the country to enhance their education was symbolically held this evening at the President's office. The assistance has been extended under courtesy of the Sri Lanka Rama Buddhist Temple in Singapore. The event was presided over by Secretary to the President Saman Ekanayake. The necessary educational equipment amassed with the assistance of the donors in Singapore for the education of the Buddhist monks and children who are receiving education in remote areas in the island were handed over to President's Secretary. The educational equipment will be distributed to the selected Pirivan within the next few days. This assistance was received following a request made by the Sri Lanka Rama Buddhist Temple in Singapore from Saman Ekanayake while he was serving as the Secretary to the Prime Minister to extend their support to the Pirivan education. The Mahasangha, including Chief in Government of the Sri Lanka Rama in Singapore, Venerable Karadetiyana Gunaratana Thera, Venerable Mahamevna Mangala Thera, representatives from Singapore, Additional Secretary to the President Buaneka Herat, Senior Advisor to the President Suren Batagoda and several other officials participated in the event. Now, opposition leader Sajith Premadasa said in the parliament today that MP Professor Charitha Herath will be nominated for the post of the chairmanship of the COPE committee. He informed that the nomination of Dr. Harsh De Silva for the chairmanship of the committee will be withdrawn.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena said an agreement with the IMF is yet to be reached and the necessary draft for the agreement is being formulated at present. The Prime Minister, responding to a query raised by the opposition, said that all stakeholders will be informed following the completion of the draft agreement. MP Vimal Veeravanshi inquired over the staff-level agreement reached with the International Monetary Fund. He said that the government is yet to submit the agreed terms in the Parliament. Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena said that no agreement is yet to be reached and a draft bill on the agreement has been submitted at present. He said that more details over the proposed agreement will be submitted subsequently.
ඉන් අනතුරුව ඒවා පිළිබඳ විස්තර සවිශේෂව ලබා දීමට පුළුවන්කම ඇති වෙනවා ඒ අදාළ කමිටුවල. පොදු ව්‍යාපාර
Opposition leader Sajith Premadasa said that the nominated chairman of the COPE committee, MP Dr. Harsh De Silva, has withdrawn his nomination from the post. Accordingly, he proposed MP Professor Charitha Herath for the vacant post. He said that the discussions were held to nominate opposition MPs for the post of chairmanship in both COPA and COPE.
රජයේ ගිණුම් පිළිබඳ කාරක සභාවේ පොදු ව්‍යාපාර පිළිබඳ කාරක සභාවේ සභාපති ධූරය විරුද්ධ පාර්ශ්වයේ මන්ත්‍රීවරයෙක් වෙත ලබා දී යුතුයි කියන යෝජනාව මේ මන් ළඟ තියෙනවා ඒ කෙටුම්පත් ටික ඒ ස්ථාවර නියෝග සාකච්ඡා කරන කමිටුවේ මේක කතා කරා මේ යෝජනා ටික ආවේ ඔබතුමාගේ පාර්ශ්වයෙන් හැබැයි කොහොම හරි ඒක දියාරු වෙලා දැන් මේකට විපක්ෂයට කෝප් එකේ කෝපයකේ සභාපති ධූරය නොලැබෙන තත්ත්වයක් නිර්මාණය වෙලා තිබෙනවා අපිට අහන්නට ලැබෙනවා දැන් ඉතින් බොහෝ දේවල් සෙටල් වෙලා දැන් ඔය කෝප් එක දුන්නත් එකයි නැතත් එකයි කියලා සමහර කට්ටිය කතා කරනවා. ඉතින් ඔබතුමාගේ මම ඉල්ලීමක් කරනවා කරුණා කරලා කෝප් එකේ කෝපයකේ මේ සභාපති ධූරය විපක්ෂයට පොරොන්දු වුණු ආකාරය විපක්ෂයට මේක ලබා දෙන්නයි කියලා මම ඉල්ලීමක් කරනවා.
අපි මෙතන පළවෙනි වතාවට
MP Dayas Irijasekara said that for the first time in history 43 MPs from the ruling party have decided to function as independent MPs in the Sri Lankan parliament. However, he pointed out that none of these MPs have been nominated for the relevant committees. Speaker Mahinda Apabewardena said that the nominations of members for both COPA and COP are directed by the party leaders. Contradicting the Speaker's claims, MP Vimal Veeravansh said that he is not aware of such decision-making to nominate members for the COP by the party leaders. Minister Prasanna Ranatunga said that the ruling party has nominated members for the committees out of the 128 SLPP parliamentarians. He said that the opposition leader took measures in an exemplary manner to provide a post for the previous member of the ruling party who recently became independent. He said that the opposition should take decisions over the nominations to these committees as recently independent MPs are now in the opposition.
World Bank says the agency appreciates the government's initiatives to revive the economy of the country. World Bank Country Director for Sri Lanka, Faris Haddad Sarwars, expressed these views in a special discussion held with the State Minister Shehan Senasinghe at the Finance Ministry yesterday. The World Bank Country Director said the World Bank is closely monitoring the economic situation in Sri Lanka. He said that the government is demonstrating its commitment by taking various measures to restore the collapsed economy. The World Bank Country Director further encouraged the Sri Lankan government to continue on their path of further governance reforms, a comprehensive debt restructuring and progress on an IMF program. Secretary to the Treasury Mahinda Siriwardena was present at the meeting. Now, MILCO Private Limited has increased the price of locally produced milk powder effective from midnight today.
Chairman of the company, Renuka Perera, addressing a media briefing, said that the price increase of the raw materials and inadequate supply of milk from producers have caused the price hike. Chairman of MILCO, Renuka Perera, said that MILCO Private Limited extend their products to the market at lower rates. He said that the 400-gram full cream milk powder will be increased by 100 rupees from 850 rupees to 950 rupees. He added that 1 kilogram full cream milk powder increased by 230 rupees from 2,120 rupees to 2,350 rupees. He said that the prices of all MILCO products will increase on September 12 due to the price increase of raw materials and inadequate supply of milk from the producers.
අනිකුත් කිරි ආශ්‍රිත නිෂ්පාදන කිරීම සඳහා අමුද්‍රව්‍ය වශයෙන් අපේ කිරි ගොවීන්ගෙන් ලබා ගන්නා කිරිවල නිෂ්පාදනය ඉතාමත් ශීඝ්‍ර ලෙස පහළ බැසීමක් සිද්ධ වෙලා තියෙනවා. ඒ වගේම නිෂ්පාදන කටයුතු සඳහා වැය වෙන අමුද්‍රව්‍ය වල මිල ඉහළ යාමත් අනිකුත් බදු ආදායම් බදු වැඩිවීමත් ඒ වගේම විදුලිය හා ඉන්ධන වැඩිවීමත් කියන කාරණා නිසා පසුගිය 12 වෙනිදා අනිකුත් නිෂ්පාදන සියල්ලම මිල්කෝ ආයතනයේ මිල වැඩි කිරීමක් සිද්ධ කළා. ඒත් කිරිපිටි මිල වැඩි කළේ නැහැ ජනතාවට සහනයක් සැලසීම වශයෙන්. එහෙත් තවදුරටත් අපිට මේ මිලේ රඳවා තබා ගැනීමට පුළුවන් කමක් නැත්තේ නැහැ.
Meanwhile, All Ceylon Bakery Owners Association has said that the two main wheat flour importers have increased the rates by 13 rupees since yesterday. However, the association has indicated that steps will not be taken to increase the price of bakery products immediately.
The world's oldest gold-plated Buddha statue has been discovered from Sri Lanka. The statue was placed for viewing today in parallel to the 50th commemorative anniversary of late Professor Senrat Paranavitana. The event held at the Archeology Department premises was presided over by Minister Vidura Vikramanayake and Director General of Archaeology Andra Manatunga. Late Professor Senrat Paranavithana assumed duties as the country's first Sri Lankan Archaeology Commissioner in the year 1940 on October 1st. He continued to render an immense service to the country as the Commissioner until 1956. The late Professor is honoured for illustrating the ancient historical prowess of Sigiriya to the present-day world. Winners of the school art and photography competitions held in parallel to the 50th commemorative anniversary of late Professor Senrat Paranavithana received their awards and certificates at the event. Several books were also unveiled via online. Now, Minister Susil Premjayant says an accelerated program has been initiated to fulfill the needs related to the nutrition of school children.
The approval of the Cabinet has been granted for the relevant resolution to provide necessary provisions for this initiative. Minister Susil Premjayant said that only 27% children can be covered with the available provisions. He said that the Cabinet paper to allocate an additional 4 million rupees for the Treasury was approved to provide nutrition for more than 50% of children. Accordingly, the Minister said that they are expecting to expand and initiate the program island-wide in the next couple of days. He also said that 45% of the school textbooks are expected to be printed through the State Printing Corporation. Accordingly, he said that the corporation has called tenders due to the unavailability of papers in the country. He added that the necessary provisions have been allocated through the Indian Credit Facility. The rest of the 55% of the books, the minister said that a cabinet paper has been presented to award the printing of books to the private sector. And meanwhile, the University Grants Commission says that those who instigate ragging inside universities should be sternly penalized.
The Commission Chairman, Senior Professor Sampath Amaratunga, urged the authorities to implement the Ragging Act with immediate effect. It has been revealed that 99% of incidents related to ragging in universities occur within the proximity of hostels. University lecturers have indicated that the higher education institutes with esteemed national value have been degraded due to the behavior of a handful of individuals. With the mediation of University Grants Commission, the Ragging Act was unveiled as a parliamentary act a couple of years back. Accordingly, the act has been defined ragging as a non-bailable offence, and those who instigate ragging will not be bailed as per the act. The University Grants Commission has pointed out that those who engage in ragging activities continue to repeat such behaviour due to the police bail granted for them following apprehension. A special committee was appointed to look into these issues pertaining to students who had to drop university education due to ragging. Accordingly, the committee appointed by the University Grants Commission had facilitated the opportunity to 50 students to engage in their academic activities in other universities. All Vice-Chancellors have emphasized the need for a national methodology to eradicate ragging from university environment.
The University of Colombo Department of Economics Tourism Study Program that the Alumni Association of the Tourism, Economics and Hospitality Management with the strategic partnership of the Barbary Ayurveda Resorts organized an industry intersective event recently to celebrate the UNTU World Tourism Day 2022. The World Tourism Day 2022, the Rethinking Tourism revolves around the opportunities to rethink how the world could engage in tourism by prioritizing people and the planet. The relevant event was held with the participation of State Minister Sisira Jayakodi, DIG Ajit Rohana and Professor Suranga Silva of Department of Economics. The event was the theme of Rethinking Tourism, Wellness and Sustainability, was attended by industry professionals, decision makers, practitioners, researchers and educationalists representing different segments of the industry. The key objective of the event was to create a platform for industry policy dialogue to design effective policy measures and strategic management application to promote sustainable wellness tourism in Sri Lanka by sharing contemporary knowledge in global best practices. The celebratory events included a panel discussion on sustainable wellness tourism, completion for the innovative wellness tour packages with the application of sustainable practices, Sri Lankan music therapy for wellness and tranquility and public awareness program to promote wellness tourism. The Sri Lanka's tourism industry was the most impacted sector by triple setbacks ranging from 2019 April Easter Sunday terror attacks, the COVID-19 pandemic and the ongoing economic crisis. Founder of the coordinator for the Masters in Tourism program, Professor Suranga Silva, said that reshaping period must be used as an opportunity to capitalize the untapped potential of Sri Lanka tourism with effective strategies and policy measures to rebuild a resilient, inclusive and sustainable tourism development. Stay tuned for international news after this break.
Husma soyana deshayai minisihinaya pranayai husma vetena jeevayai asangatayata nimavak dena pranavayuva ennatai e pranavayuva ennatai e pranavayuva ennatai husma vetena deshaye minisihinaya pranayai e pranavayuva ennatai e pranavayuva ennatai
ජීවත් වෙන්න එන්නත් වෙන්න.
The United States military says it killed Al-Shabaab leader in Somali airstrike.
Information said in a statement that the operation that killed Abdullahi Nader happened on Saturday. They said he is next in line to replace the group's leader, Ahmed Duriye, who is sick. The Information Ministry's statement says his death is a thorn removed from the Somali nation. The government expressed gratitude to the Somali people and international friends whose cooperation facilitated the killing of.
And meanwhile, throughout the historic center of Bangkok, layered roofs of red, blue and green tiles glistering under the scorching sun can be told unmistakably and remarkably oriental, telling the time-honored cultural exchange stories between the two Asian countries of China and Thailand. In the National Museum, Bangkok, one of the largest in Southeast Asia, there is a huge map that shows the Silk Route network which ran over land and sea from the 7th to the 13th centuries. Across the country along the ancient route were prominent trading hubs with Chinese and Indian sea merchants where it led immense cultural exchanges. Chinese traders were known to have used Thailand's extensive waterways to do business. They came often with capital and gradually their influence grew as they continued to trade and own business throughout the country. With them they came treasures, bronze, glass, ceramics, musical instruments, hunting gear, agricultural equipment demonstrating ancient invention and technology. Personal collections of kings reflected their admiration of Chinese traditions from furniture to shrines, pavilions and murals and carvings. Distinguished characteristics of Chinese traditional art can be found in the 28 Thai pans among all pleasures displaying in the museum.
Now, the Indian Air Force today got its first indigenous light combat helicopter at the Jodhpur Air Base in Rajasthan.
The induction ceremony took place in the presence of Defence Minister Ranjit Singh and Chief Air Force Marshal V.R. Chaudhary of the Indian Air Force. Induction of these helicopters is a big boost to the combat powers of the Indian Air Force as they can conduct offensive operations in the Siachi Glacier area and eastern Ladakh. Addressing the gathering, the Minister Ranjit Singh and the Indian Air Force has played an important role in the nation's security. An induction of indigenously developed light combat helicopter will increase its efficiency. Speaking on the occasion of the Chief of the Air Staff said that induction of light helicopter to the Indian Air Force adds a unique capability to Indian Air Force combat potential. Light combat helicopter is capable of dogging the enemy, carrying a variety of ammunition and delivering to the site quickly. According to data provided by Army Technology, the maximum take-off weight of this light combat helicopter is 5,500 kilograms. It can carry 2,600 kilograms worth of stuff. It features bulletproof windshields, self-sealing fuel tanks, crew-seated and can absorb impact, and crash-proof fuel tanks and landing gear. And Thailand will enter the cold season during the 4th week of October, with temperatures expected to drop to 20 degrees Celsius in the north. Bangkok residents who have not experienced cold weather for several consecutive years may this year they need to warm clothing, and temperature may drop to 17 degrees Celsius in the intercity inner, in 15 degrees Celsius in the suburbs. The Thai Meteorological Department reports that yesterday that Thailand's cold season will see average temperatures lower than last year. The average temperature in mountainous areas in northern and northeastern provinces may drop to 8 degrees Celsius. The coldest period will be between December and the end of January, when visitors to mountainous as retreats may experience ground frost. The weatherman also said that a cold front from China is forecast to cover Thailand's northern regions, but the cold season does not officially start until the end of the next month.
இப்படி வந்திட இப்படி அல்பங்கள்
Prima Katumi Fantamai.
New now, the Sri Lanka women's cricket team was able to secure a 49-run win against Thailand today, and the match was played in Bangladesh.
Batting first, Sri Lanka scored 156 runs for the loss of 5 wickets. Sri Lankan batter Harshita Samaravikrama scored 81 runs while Dilakshita Silva scored 39. Thailand, chasing a target of 157 runs, was only able to gather 107 runs for their innings. Sri Lankan bowler Achini Kulasurya picked up 2 wickets. The marathon, walking and racing cycling events of the 47th National Sports Festival expected to take place in Kampaha on the October 8th and 9th. A media briefing over the competitions was held at the Ministry of Sports premises yesterday. The handing over of sponsors' checks was also held during this event. The newly appointed members of the National Sports Selection Committee officially received the letters of appointment at the Ministry of Sports today. The event was held with the participation of Minister Roshan Semasinghe. Sri Lankan youth players who took part in the South Asian Junior Badminton Championship arrived in the country today. The tournament was held in India. Sri Lankan players were able to secure 7 medals, including 2 silver medals. Sri Lanka secured the runners-up trophies for the both under-15 and under-17 categories of the tournament.
இப்படி வந்திட இப்படி அல்பங்கள்
Prima Katumi Fantamai.
And that's all the news we have for tonight. Do join us tomorrow at 8:50 p.m. for the very latest on Channel I. I'm Delanjali together with Shaita signing off. Good night.
Good night.